Good morning from Milan in Italy. Today I'm here to give a keynote to a company called Generali. Specifically, it's the Generali employee benefits part of the business. Generali is one of Europe's biggest reinsurance companies, and this is the bit that really arranges employee benefits for lots of the big multinationals around the world. So come on, follow me along, see as I get into my day to go and give this keynote in Milan, Italy. Welcome back from here in the rolling hills of Le Marche, Italy. The event in Milan went fantastic, really lovely audience, great conversations after the event as well. One of the stories I was telling there, because I always like to add a local flavor, a local something every time I speak somewhere. And I was talking, one of the bits of my speech was talking about someone called Andrea del Verrocchio, who was the kind of artist on call to the Medici family, the great banking family of the Renaissance era. And really what I was talking about was this idea of the lone creative genius. How often the media paints the idea that a lot of innovations, creativity, they put that CEO in the front cover of the magazine as if that CEO had single-handedly built that business. But it really is a fiction. So I was talking about Andrea del Verrocchio, who's this great artist. Now he was a great artist, but he was an even better spotter and nurturer of talent. So what he would do is, with the money that he made from the Medici family, he created a workshop in Florence during the Renaissance, and he would hire and train young artists, train them on to become young artists, and many of them went on to become the great artists of the Renaissance era. And for example, one of those was someone called Leonardo da Vinci, you may have heard of. And what was interesting, so when we often hear about Leonardo da Vinci, the role of his mentor, Andrea del Verrocchio, was kind of painted out of history a little bit. You don't really hear that name so much, but because it doesn't play as well, with this lone creative genius thing. Now that's not to paint out obviously the genius of Da Vinci, but sometimes we kind of forget those mentors, those bosses, those co-workers, the suppliers even, who have a role in allowing us to do great creative work, whatever that is. In fact, there was a little end to this story that I told, which was about a very famous painting. It's called the Salvator Mundi. It's the world's most expensive painting. It's called the Male Mona Lisa. I think someone bought it recently for $450 million, US dollars. So it's a pretty expensive painting. And but here's the interesting thing about those paintings. So it's got Leonardo da Vinci painting, but many people think that Da Vinci didn't paint that painting entirely on his own. Latterly in his life, Da Vinci actually became almost like a mentor to another person called Bernardino Luini, another young artist. And many people think that Luini had a role in the co-creation of this painting as well. But once again, you don't hear these stories often because it kind of doesn't work for this kind of lone creative genius myth that we sometimes hear. But I'm always really keen. And the event I was doing was really talking about this idea of partnership and collaboration. In this case, I was talking to people from the insurance industry and the role of collaboration with their clients, with their partners, their network as well. So next time you see someone being lauded on TV or in front cover of a magazine as if this person's a genius, just think about asking the question, who is behind this person? Who are those mentors, those coaches, those previous bosses, those suppliers, those people who helped funded them? Because they have almost as important a role in the process as that individual themselves. So from here in Le Marche, in the beautiful hills of Le Marche in Italy, next I'm about to go and head on to go and catch a plane to go, first of all I should go to Bologna, and then I go to Edinburgh in the UK, and then from there I head to Paris, and then finally from there I head to Bogota in Colombia, because I'm going to be speaking in Bogota in Colombia this week. So follow me along, check out the next video. If you are in the insurance industry and you're looking to bring in a great keynote speaker, please feel free to reach out to my team. It's always great being here in Italy and getting a chance to speak here in Italy as well. But come and follow me along in the next video on my way to Bogota in Colombia.